Hey gaming fans, so today's another Yu-Gi-Oh deck profile, and this one is Fortune Ladies. This is a deck that's kind of fun. It can draw a lot of cards, that's what I like about it, and it can do a lot of different tricks. So I've done this deck before, so this is kind of a modified version of it, just a little bit modified anyways. So let's get to the build. So we have 3 Fortune Lady Light. Now, all the Fortune Ladies share the same common theme. Just like most themes in Yu-Gi-Oh! Monsters, that they often follow a similar theme. So this one is their attack is based on their level times a certain amount of like attack points. So this one is 200 for its level. So she's never going to be really that big. I mean, you're not going to ever use her to attack. I mean, unless your opponent only has 200 life points left and you can attack directly, which probably will hardly ever happen. But and the fact is that it increases its level every turn, but you're probably not going to have her on the field more than one turn. But her effect is when this card is removed from the field by a card effect, removed from play, I should say. No, sorry. When this card is removed from the field by a card effect, you can special summon 1 Fortune Lady monster from your deck. So you got to find creative ways to remove her from the field. So there's a lot of ways you can do that. Then we have, to help out with the Fortune Ladies, we have the Fortune Fairies. So this is the Fortune Fairy Hikari. I think that's how you say that. So pretty much when you draw this, much like the Fortune Ladies, these all have the similar effect of when you draw this card, you can special summon it by revealing it. And then when this card is special summoned from the hand, you could target 1 monster you control, send it to the graveyard, and if you do, special summon 1 Spellcaster monster from your deck. So obviously, if you're opening hand, you draw your Fortune Fairy, you can just special summon her and then send her to the graveyard to grab your Fortune Lady Light, or you can grab your Fortune Lady Past, which is the dark kind of version of the Fortune Lady Light. This is your tuner of the deck, a really important card. So pretty much you could target 1 Fortune Lady monster you control, banish any number of other Spellcaster monsters from your hand, field, or graveyard, and if you do, increase or reduce this monster's level by the number of monsters banished until the end of the turn. So the only thing that's really good about this is that you're going to, it's a tuner monster, so you're going to be able to change its level to whatever you need to be able to synchro summon. So that's a really good addition to the deck. And just the ability to banish Spellcasters is a good thing too, or banish the Fortune Ladies, I should say. Then for the real heart of the deck, the Fortune Lady Water, so I put 3 in. This is a card you're going to want to get out fast as you can, because once you have a Fortune Lady on the field, when this card is special summoned, you can just draw 2 cards. And of course, this was before the time when they started really putting the once per turn for these cards. So you can really abuse her effect pretty much. You just got to keep pulling her out somehow. You can get her from the graveyard, you can special summon her from like anywhere, and you get to draw your 2 cards. So really good card. I put in 1 Fortune Lady Fairy Sui. So when you draw this card, reveal it, special summon it to your hand from your hand. If this card is special summoned from your hand, you can target 1 other face-up monster on the field, banish it until the standby phase of your next turn. You can only use the effect of Fortune Fairy Sui once per turn. So there's a lot of reasons why you like that effect. You can banish your opponent's monster, you can banish one of your own, like banish your light, get its effect off. So there's a lot of things you could do. Then we play 2 Fortune Fairy Ands. I believe these are the only Fortune Fairies I play in the deck. This one is when special summoned from the hand, you could banish 1 Spellcaster monster from your deck. So there's many reasons why you might want to do that. You have a draw card that works with that, and you could special summon it from the remove from play pile. So then we got the Fortune Fairy Darks. So I play 3 of them in this build. This is your kind of muscle of the deck, just to get her out. She gets pretty big. Hers is times the 400 for her level. So she starts off as a level 5, which is pretty good, you know, get her up there. And this also has, when a face-up Fortune Lady monster you control destroys an opponent's monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard, you can select and special summon 1 Fortune Lady monster from your graveyard. Really good if you have your water in the graveyard, then you're going to draw 2 cards. So really cool. And then just to round out the spellcasters in this deck, I kept my Chaos Sorcerer in there because you do get light and dark in the graveyard pretty quickly. It's just another card to pull out that you can banish one of your opponent's face-up monsters and then use them for synchro summoning. So I just left the one in there. Then for the spells, we have 3 of the Future Vision. This card's kind of fun. I like how they've they're doing this a lot more for certain themes where it searches and then it does something else. So when this card is activated, you can target one Fortune Lady card in your deck and add it to your hand. So that's really cool about it too, is that it's card and not just monster. And then once per turn, if a card you control is banished by a card effect, which you do quite a bit in this deck, you can activate this effect this turn. Monsters you control cannot be destroyed by card effects. So that's pretty cool in case your opponent tries to destroy your cards with, Dark Hole or something. And then if this card leaves the field once per turn, well, not Dark Hole, probably Torrential Tribute, whatever. If this card leaves the field once per turn, if a card is, even if it leaves the field, I should say, once per turn, if this card your opponent controls are banished, once per turn, if a card your opponent controls is banished, so if you banish one of your opponent's cards, you can make the next battle damage you take this turn become 0. So, it's a good idea to have a card or 2 in your deck that can banish on your opponent's turn. Then we got the 3 Fortune Lady Calling. This is cool because it's a Fortune Lady card, so Future Vision searches it out. And then if you control a Fortune Lady monster, special summon one Fortune Lady monster from your deck with a different name from the cards you control. Also, for the rest of this turn, after this card resolves, you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck except synchro monsters, which is fine. I mean, you're probably going to do that anyways. But this is great for grabbing your water. So if you have any of the other Fortune Ladies on the field, you just grab the water from the deck, special summon, and then draw 2 cards. Really cool. Of course, also you might want to grab your light and dark and stuff like that just to go for synchro plays. Then we play 3 of the Fortune's Future, more draw power. I mean, this deck has a lot of draw power, really good for drawing many cards. Select one of your remove from play Fortune Lady monsters and return them to the graveyard to draw 2 cards. So you're going to want to use this card as often as you can just to draw some cards. Then I threw in another draw card because why not? We like drawing cards. This Allure of Darkness. We do play a lot of darks in here. I only put 1 in the deck. But you do play quite a few dark monsters. I mean, you have your Chaos Sorcerer, your Fortune Lady Darks, your Fortune Fairy Anne, and your Fortune Lady Past. And then, of course, if you have Fortune's Future ready, you banish one of your, either your Past or your Dark, the other Dark monster, the Fortune Lady Dark right there, to draw 2 cards and return it to the graveyard. Then I put in 2 Magical Mallets. This is basically if your hand is just full of garbage. There is some cards that you don't want to have in your deck or in your hand. You'd rather have in your deck, like the water, so you can use your calling. Your Fortune Fairies, if you have them in your hand and you didn't special summon them, you want to get them back into the decks, so then you could redraw them again with Magical Mallet just to be able to special summon their effect, off their effect. So this kind of like, just refreshes your hand, especially if you're going to be drawing a lot of cards with water and stuff like that. It really just gets the cards back into the deck and then reshuffles and then gives you another chance to draw into your Fortune Fairies. Of course, Monster Reborn is good. Another one that can grab your water from the graveyard if it's in there. Or if you just return anything to the graveyard with your Fortune Future, then you could special summon it. And then, of course, we have 2 of the DDR, Different Dimension Reincarnations. This deck deals with a lot of banishing, so you just get, it's pretty much the Monster Reborn for the banish pile, but you have to discard a card, which is fine because you do draw a lot of cards in this deck. And of course, if you do go for your water, your Fortune Lady Water, you get to draw 2 cards. Then I put in 1 Mystic, or Cosmic, I should say, Cyclone. Pay 1,000 life points, then target 1 spell or trap on the field and banish it. This I threw in there because of the Fortune Vision, because it does have the effects that get off if you banish a card on the field, and it can be activated on your opponent's turn, so you can banish their card if you have a Fortune Vision out, so you don't take any battle damage that turn. So you get to banish one of their spell or trap cards, and then you don't take battle damage. Then for the traps, we have 2 Fortune Lady Rewinds. This is a real good card. I mean, target any number of your banished Fortune Lady monsters with different aims, special summon them, but shuffle them into the deck during the end phase. You can only activate it once per turn. So that's like, really good to just flood the field full of Fortune Ladies. Especially, again, if you have water, you're going to draw some cards again. Then I put 1 Dwimmered Glimmer. I think in my previous build I had 2 of them in this deck. This is just kind of a fun little tech I was thinking about. You activate this card by banishing a face-up monster you control or 1 monster in your graveyard to special summon this card as a normal monster and with the same level as the banished monster. So it really plays around with the levels. You get a monster out on the field to synchro summon with. It can banish a Fortune Lady to get your Fortune's Future going. You always need a banished Fortune Lady to draw the card, so I just found that this is kind of a fun one to throw in there. And then to round it off, I just put 3 Infinite Impermanence, just so, go first card if your opponent tries, or go second card, I should say, if your opponent tries to do stuff on their turn. You can play this from your hand. Also just set it and, negate their effects. Really good card, so I just threw 3 in here. So that's the main deck. The extra deck, still a work in progress for me, but obviously this Fortune Lady Every is 1 card I was missing from the first time I profiled this deck. I just felt I needed to get one, so I grabbed 1. You probably could go with 2 in the extra deck, but I just put the money out to get 1 because she's still pretty expensive. But this card's attack and defense comes equal to its level times 400, so she is a level 7. And once per turn during your standby phase, increase this card's level just like the rest of them. Then you can banish 1 face-up monster your opponent controls. During your opponent's end phase, if this card is in your graveyard, you can banish 1 other Spellcaster monster in the graveyard, special summon this card. So, really good card. It can keep coming back. Banishes, it does a lot of great stuff. And then I was just thinking what other kinds of, monsters might be good in this. So I threw in a Bryonic Dragon. Just a good synchro monster. This one too, Gungnir. You need to use your water monsters, but you have the Fortune Lady Water. Arcanite Magician, you're playing Spellcasters, so pretty good card. Black Rose Dragon, just to blow up the field. Stardust Dragon, just a standard, whatever. Trishula, because you probably could pull it off. And then I just threw in some Xyz monsters just to round out my extra deck. So Gaga Cowboy, always good to just finish your opponent off with. Abyss Soldier, Diagusto Emerald, because there's a lot of the 4s you're going to be able to summon to the field, especially with your Fortune Lady Waters and your Sui, to get it to have 2 level 4s that you might need to synchro into, or sorry, Xyz into. So I just threw in just my standard lineup, the 101 Arc, and then we do have the level 5s so that we can go into rank 5. The Fortune Lady Darks, they're 5, so if you do manage to pull 2 of them out onto the field, you might need to go into, Adrius to kill a card on your opponent's side of the field, or Volcasaurus to blow up a monster and deal damage. And then, of course, you can overlay your Gaia Dragon, the Thunder Charger, to get the attack through. Then I just threw in a Borrelord Dragon, because I don't have anything better than that for my links. But, you can play around with the extra deck all you want. But yeah, this is a build that I've been working around with. I think it's kind of fun. It's a fun build. Fortune Ladies have a lot of potential. I've even seen the Fortune Lady Exodia build, which I might try to tackle that at one point as well. Anyways, let me know what you think. Throw some comments down below. Always like to hear what you have to say. Hope you subscribe. Talk to you later.